Welcome to the Bio Insights, where science comes alive.
We are unlocking the secrets of a hidden universe that literally dictates almost everything about how you feel on a daily basis. If you've been struggling with modern ailments, unexplainable fatigue, or just a general lack of energy, the solution might not actually be in your medicine cabinet. It might just be in healing your gut microbiome naturally. So let's dive right in and discover how to completely, and I mean absolutely completely, revitalize your body from the inside out. Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. First, the second brain within. 2, the power of fermented foods. 3, top natural probiotic foods. 4, prebiotics, feeding your army. And finally, number 5, rules for gut health. 100 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. That is the estimated population of bacteria living inside your gut right now. That's more than the number of stars in our entire galaxy. Made up of over 10,000 different species, these tiny organisms are absolutely vital to your survival. To put into perspective just how important they are, nearly 70% of your entire immune system is connected directly to this bacterial population. They aren't just hitching a ride inside you, they are literally running the show. All right, let's hit section 1, the second brain within. So, thanks to our modern lifestyles, the high stress, heavily processed junk foods, refined sugars, and chlorinated water, we are actually experiencing a mass extinction event of these good bacteria inside our bodies. And when they die off en masse, we see a whole cascade of symptoms. We're talking severe brain fog, extreme fatigue, acne, fungal infections, and even devastating autoimmune conditions. You might be experiencing chronic bloating, acidity, low immunity, and unexplained mood swings. Why? Well, because these bacteria are responsible for producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, our primary happiness chemical. When your gut suffers, your physical and mental health just collapses. Moving right along to section 2, the power of fermented foods. The absolutely crucial point to understand here is that not all probiotics are created equal. You might think, I'll just reach for conventional supermarket yogurt, but they simply do not compare. Commercial yogurt often contains only a few strains of bacteria and maybe around 3.6 billion colony-forming units. But here's the kicker. It's usually pasteurized, which means the heat has already killed the bacteria, and then it gets packed with inflammatory added sugars. Now contrast that with kefir, an amazing traditional fermented drink. Kefir boasts over 27 billion live CFUs and anywhere from 30 to 50 diverse strains of good microorganisms, including highly beneficial yeasts. Plus, the lactic acid bacteria in kefir actually eat up the milk sugar, making it virtually lactose-free. It's a massive win if you usually avoid dairy, and a true probiotic powerhouse. This brings us to section 3, top natural probiotic foods. Just look at this incredible arsenal you have at your disposal. You've got dairy options like traditional curd or a dahi, giving you readily accessible lactobacillus alongside that massive payload in kefir we just talked about. Then you have fermented veggies like sauerkraut and its spicy cousin kimchi. These deliver vitamin U to fight gut inflammation, plus K1, K2, and C for powerful sinus support. Traditional drinks like congee and kombucha offer these really tangy, antioxidant-packed hits of natural digestive enzymes. Even traditional Indian staples like idli and dosa batter make the cut here, because the fermentation process actually pre-digests the starches and proteins, making them incredibly light and soothing on your stomach. Okay, let's actually see how easy it is to make one of these right at home. This is the exact recipe for congee, which is a traditional fermented root vegetable drink that basically acts like a potent probiotic potion. Step 1, just chop up some raw beetroot or black carrots, but whatever you do, don't peel them. The natural bacteria we want live right there on the skin. Step 2, toss in crushed mustard seeds, rock salt, and filtered non-chlorinated water. Step 3, put it all in a glass jar. Now, you absolutely must keep the lid slightly loose because as the bacteria ferment, they release gases. And trust me, we do not want a probiotic explosion in your kitchen. Finally, step 4, leave it sitting in the sunlight for 2 to 3 days. Once it develops this tangy, slightly fizzy aroma, you're good to go. Drink just a few tablespoons of this a day, and you are literally flooding your gut with life. But you've got to consume these living foods the right way. If you're using curd, for example, there are some really strict Ayurvedic rules you need to follow. First, always consume it fresh. The moment it becomes too sour, it actually causes acidity instead of curing it. Second, never eat it at night because it increases heaviness and leads to congestion. And this last one is absolutely crucial. Never, ever mix live probiotics with piping hot food. Heat destroys those delicate beneficial bacteria instantly. Always let your food cool down just a bit before adding your probiotics. All right, section 4, prebiotics, or as I like to call it, feeding your army. So we know probiotics are the live beneficial bacteria we just talked about. Prebiotics, on the other hand, are the crude, raw dietary fibers that actually act as food for those bacteria. Think of it this way. Taking probiotics without prebiotics is basically like inviting hundreds of guests to a huge wedding at your house, but refusing to serve any food. Those hungry guests are going to get pretty angry, right? Well, in your gut, starving bacteria will literally begin to eat away at your gut lining. You absolutely have to feed your army. So, what exactly is on the menu for these guys? Your best prebiotic options are dense, crude fibers. We are talking about raw green bananas, chia seeds, flax seeds, isabgol, which you might know as psyllium husk, the skin of apples, and even small amounts of raw potatoes. A healthy adult needs about 30 to 50 grams of this specific type of fiber every single day just to keep their internal ecosystem thriving. It's actually pretty wild to trace the journey this fiber takes inside your body. In minute 1, you eat the prebiotic fiber. By hour 1, it reaches your stomach. And unlike regular food, this crude fiber completely resists your harsh stomach acids. By hour 3, it passes right through your small intestine entirely intact. It isn't until around hour 6 that it finally reaches the dark, oxygen-free environment of your colon. This is where your good bacteria are waiting for it. They feast on this fiber and immediately release something magical called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs flood your system and instantly begin reducing body pain, lowering inflammation, and healing your gut from the inside out. And finally, section 5, rules for gut health. Introducing bacteria and feeding them is a great foundation, but your daily habits dictate if they actually survive long-term. First up, cut out refined sugar immediately. Sugar doesn't feed your good army at all. It exclusively feeds the bad, pathogenic bacteria that cause gas and bloating. Second, practice fasting. When you give your digestion a break, your good bacteria actually enter a state where they produce the highest amounts of essential vitamins for your body. Third, stop eating when you're about 75% full. Overeating constantly stresses out your microbiome. Remember that rule about heat we discussed? Keep those live cultures far away from piping hot foods. And lastly, you've got to stop smoking and limit heavily processed foods because these actively destroy the exact bacteria you are trying so hard to cultivate. There's a brilliant quote from Dr. Hansaji that perfectly sums this up. Health is not created in a day. It is built through daily, consistent choices. Picture the timeline of your success here. If you start implementing these probiotics and prebiotics today, within just days, you could see real improvements in your digestion and your mood. Give it a few weeks, and you could see chronic pain diminish and a completely new glow to your skin. But it requires rhythm. It requires simplicity. Your body doesn't want complicated medical interventions. It wants natural nourishment, consistently, day after day. So I've got to ask you one final vital question. Which live bacteria will you invite into your gut today? Is it going to be a glass of kefir in the morning, a spoonful of sauerkraut with your lunch, or maybe that glass of congee in the afternoon? The choice is entirely yours, and your 100 trillion tiny friends are waiting for you to decide. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and here's to your health.